Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is a Thursday. You know what that means. It's Family Feud Day. And for Family Feud Day, you got to fuel up your fall routine with Factor's no prep, no mess meals ready in just 2 minutes. Get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month with the promo code BID50 at factormeals.com/BID50. Big shout out to Factor for being the presenting sponsor. Appreciate them as always. Got a bunch of Factor meals actually sent to my house. And the drinks, the girls are going to have the drinks. They're like healthy drinks. I don't drink healthy stuff, but the girls were all over it. So I'm happy for them.
I crushed the drinks.
Which one did you like?
The beet and ginger.
There
was a third thing in there that's escaping me, but it was a dark purple drink that, was something that I wouldn't typically get in my body, but because Factor sent it to me and it looked very tempting, I went ahead and took it down, and I would make that a regular part of my morning.
Yeah. You know what else you should get in your body?
What's that?
The Underdog Fantasy app, because MLB season is in full swing and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. I threw a couple. I sprinkled a little bit yesterday. I did some sprinkling. I went 0 for 2. I think I had Judgy with higher 2.5 total bases, and then I had Vladdy homering, and Brian Bayo threw 8 shutout innings against the Jays. And I don't know what Judgy did, but I didn't see him homer, so I don't think. I'm assuming that was but that's okay, because I'm gonna keep throwing them out there. I'm gonna keep throwing my picks out there. Yeah, you got to keep sprinkling. Just keep sprinkling. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000. $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. You got to keep sprinkling, brother. You know you got to do it. Very excited today for Family Feud, only because Dallas and I just keep bundling the Baseball is Dead Discord. And every week they're like, oh yeah? Well, this is the week that we're going to bundle you guys. And then we just set a new high score every week. Like it's an embarrassment. We just rub their faces and shit every single week. This week, they feel pretty confident, Dal. Where are you at in terms of confidence that we're going to not only win, but just blow past the threshold?
Jared, what if I told you that I've been receiving messages and it's plain as day? It's in an effort to try to slow down the machine that we are. It's obvious, right? Like, hey, I wanted to catch up with you after the ball game. I know there's been some back and forth between the Discord, and I'd love to say hey. Just want to take a picture, say hey, like, and I was like, oh, I smell that bitch on you, dog. I smell it. I smell it. So we'll see. We'll see. I will not be deterred.
Damn.
I will not be deterred.
Sounds like it's an inside job. Sounds like there's an ambush, some sabotage.
They're trying. They're trying.
Obviously, Discord provides the responses, so they're driving this. But let's just say that I may have, tapped into, another brain for some question input this time. Might have hollered at another Havens to see what they might have had to say about the questions, what's going on. He saw what was written about needing to be harder, and he said, let me help you out a little bit. So maybe I took some of his suggestions.
Wow.
I mean, is that an official Discord member? I feel like I should. Is this under protest?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think my brother fucks around on the Discord, but he does have his hands over these questions, which I'm interested to see how it plays out. Because now it's kind of like everybody's lining up against you guys a little bit to see if they can.
That's what it feels like.
Not take you down, but at least give you a challenge. I think when you're throwing up 250s and 275s, The question is like, let's give these guys a ball game first, and then we'll worry about winning or losing. But let's give them a ball game.
What if Rob Manfred did that to Aaron Judge? What if Rob Manfred was like, "Oh, the game's too easy for Aaron Judge. Like, let's make the baseball smaller." I mean, Dallas and I are just we're great. Like Dallas and I are just great. Like, why can't the Discord just appreciate greatness instead of trying to make the game harder? Like, what if it's just like, oh, these two guys are the guys?
I don't think I think you're interpreting it incorrectly. I think we're still trying to find our water level, our balance. So it's not so much let's make the game harder to spite these people. It's let's craft some questions that put some sweat on the brow. And make Dallas do what everybody likes to see Dallas do, which is utterly panic. And, let's put on a show.
Right.
275 is fun. It's not fun every week though.
No, I guess
so.
Not.
We gotta curb that a little bit. We got to make sure that the questions ratchet up a little.
Dallas is also first this week.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. That comes with its own level of potential panic, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of panic, Jayhay, I'm a 10-time All-Star and a Triple Crown winner.
Miguel Cabrera.
I pitched for 24 seasons in the big leagues, spanning 3 decades.
Warren Spahn.
I led the league in innings 5 times, including a career high of 346 and a third innings in the 70s.
Phil Niekro.
I have a career WAR of 90.2 and 329 career wins.
Nolan Ryan.
I'm known for pitching most of my career with one team, where my number 32 is retired, but ended my career with the Giants, White Sox, Indians, and Twins.
Gaylord Perry.
I have won multiple Cy Young Awards and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1994 with 95.6% of the vote.
Steve Carlton.
The last hint was I am left-handed.
Yeah, I should have gone Carlton before Perry, but that's okay. We got it in the end.
Yeah,
the White Sox and all those other teams is what. Yeah.
Well, it threw me. That's why I regretted that. If I wouldn't have gotten it before, I would have gotten mad because obviously, like Gaylord Perry played for Cleveland, but not those other assortment of teams and whatever. So all good. We got it.
We got it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say I'm most known for pitching most of my career with the Phillies. I said I'm most known for pitching for one team.
Right.
You could have just dropped the nastiest slider in baseball history, and that would have worked.
Good work, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was fine. For the most part. Is Corbin Carroll back?
It's the rumor.
I mean, all right. So I'm looking at the numbers here. Since July 20th, it's a 983 OPS. And you'd say, damn, that's quite the improvement over the 633 OPS he had through his first 95 games. He's on it's 34 games, but it's 29 starts since July 20th. But through his first 95 games, it's a 633 OPS over his last 34 games and 145 plate appearances. It's a 983 OPS, but it's a 262 batting average. It's a 340 OBP, but it's 12 homers, no doubles. How the fuck is that possible? Because he has 6 triples. If he hits a ball in the gap, it's a triple.
It's a triple.
Yes.
He ain't stopping.
No,
I mean it's over the wall.
No double. That's no doubles. To have a 983 OPS with no doubles, 12 homers and 6 triples is fucking bananas.
Is Corbin Carroll going to get credit for playing through an injury? Is Corbin Carroll going to be credited? Is that something that's being taken into account? That early on, it was the struggle that it was. And I think there's a direct correlation with the shoulder not feeling as good as it did and not being able to produce quite the power he was. And then at the later stage in this season, maybe finally physically having turned a corner, you find him driving the baseball with regularity to the point where 9 of the 17 homers have come this month, in the month of August?
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm still blown away by the no doubles, 6 triples thing.
Well,
like,
dude, that's how,
if he hits the ball in the gap, it's a triple.
that's how there's dudes, I love this, but there's guys all across the league, Jared, who are thinking 2 out of the box, 3 if it's there, as opposed to how it used to be maybe like hard turn out of the box. I'll think about 2, shut it down. Like, these dudes are going, it's a double until you stop me. And if you don't stop me, it's 3. Bobby Wood Jr. is another dude like that. A ball anywhere near the gap, they're making a turn at second, which means I'm coming to third. I'm not fucking slowing down here at second.
The thing that's interesting to me about Corbin Carroll, about the question of, is he back? And like, obviously to some extent, the question is yes, because he was like shockingly terrible through the first X number of games that Jared outlined.
95.
Particularly relative to expectations. To me, it's like the batted ball profile / the launch angle combination, because like the first thing that I looked at when I saw that his homers are up in the way that they're up, while the batting average and the on-base percentage are, like, to your point, like, they're good, but they're not like scorching like we've seen from some other hot stretches this season. And maybe a surprise, maybe not, but his average launch angle has increased every month from June, July to August. His current August launch angle would be, I believe, the highest he has ever had in a single month in his career. And then his fly ball rate is, right where you would expect a fly ball rate to be when you learned what you just learned about his launch angle. His fly ball rate's gone from 12.2% in May to 18.8% in June, 25.7% in July, and 32% in August. So, like, I'm a little conflicted. Like, on one hand, you have to concede that he's back on some level, but I'm not sure that this is exactly the profile that we envisioned with what made Corbin Carroll like a super dynamic, one of the 5 or 6 most desirable young building block pieces in the game entering the season. I don't know. I'm a little confused, if I'm being honest, about where this goes from here, given his speed profile, the fact that we like doubles and triples out of him. What does this launch angle and batted ball stuff really mean in the end, if this is the trend that he's doing? Or, to Dallas's point, is this compensation? Is this his way of battling through and saying, I know I'm not 100%, won't be this season, but I'm going to make this adjustment so at least I can get to more power at the, maybe cost of a batting average that is exactly what I would want it to be. I don't know. I still think it's a very interesting situation.
It's certainly interesting. Because I think even when he was struggling, there wasn't anyone here saying, oh, was last year a fluke? Like, is this not the special player that we thought he was, or that the D-backs thought that he was when they gave him that money? I think it was just a matter of, he's just got to figure it out. It's not, I mean, to Dallas's point about the injury, if you want to factor that in, okay. But this was not a player where it's like, oh, he's out of shape, or he's too old, or the league figured him out and now he's got to figure the league back. I think it was a matter of, this is a special player with a unique set of baseball talents. Not all baseball talents are created equal, and he has one of the more exciting packages in the sport.
Yeah, go ahead and clip that. Also gonna need to inform you guys that as of right now, Corbin Carroll has, I mean, you knew what you were doing. Corbin Carroll has the fastest swing on the team. That swing has gained 2 miles an hour worth of ferocity behind it from the beginning of the season to now. What do we know about swinging hard? What do we know about when you hit the ball, when you swing hard? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like there's a better chance for that ball to go a little farther. And if you're now starting to lift the baseball with more authority, it's almost like swinging harder, hitting the ball a little farther while it's in the air, starts to result in what we're getting from Corbin Carroll. To my point about the injury, you're now physically in a place where you can repeat the things that make you who you are, that separate you from a lot of other people. And now you're back to doing it.
I'm happy for him. It felt weird when he was struggling. I was like, I don't like this.
Well, it's like he has that kind of a season and does what he did in the fashion that he did it and then just goes away. Like, that's not going to happen. That can't happen.
Well, and we also talked about, how getting a young player like that with his dynamic skill set on the largest stage, like they did in the 2023 season when he played in the World Series and throughout the postseason, like ideally you want that to be a jump off, right? You want that to be a platform for, ideally growth as a baseball player, but also growth as like a recognizable face within the game. And I'm not suggesting that Corbin Carroll's ever going to be the face of baseball, but it's just disappointing from a general fan perspective that, to your guys' point, there wasn't building off of that season. It came out so flat. But it certainly looks like he's going to get another opportunity in October with the way the D-backs are playing.
Someone else is probably going to get an opportunity in October.
Ooh.
Chris Sale.
Yeah, probably.
Big shout out to Chris Sale for helping the Red Sox last night pick up a game in the wild card standings on the Minnesota Twins. Chris Sale in his 25th start of the year. I am flabbergasted. I'm happy for the guy. I'm not one of those people who go, oh man, we really shouldn't have traded Chris Sale. That's not how I feel. Chris Sale has not made 25 starts in a season since 2019 when he made exactly 25 starts. But he went out there last night, didn't have his usual strikeout stuff, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, walked 1 guy, punched out 6. To lower his ERA on the season to 2.58. It's a 207 FIP, by the way, for anyone keeping score at home. But he does lead the league in win percentage. He's 15-3 with a league best 2.58 ERA and a league best 197 strikeouts and 153 and 2/3 innings pitched. The ERA plus 161 leads the league. The FIP, again, 207, that leads the league. And the strikeouts per 9, 11.5. That leads the league. Chris Sale is probably going to win the Cy Young Award this year, Jake. I don't know how you feel about it. It's one of those things where like I get that I should be angry and upset, but I'm not. Like I should be like, goddamn, the Red Sox, if only they had starting pitching. Oh, the fucking National League Cy Young Award winner. Do you think that would have helped out a little bit this year? Yeah. But to me, it's butterfly effect. I don't think he has this season if he's in Boston. I just don't. That's how I feel. He needed a change of scenery. He needed to turn the page. He needed to move on with his life and his career, and he did in a very big way. And the man hasn't been an all-star since 2018. He's never won the Cy Young Award before. He finished as high as second, a couple of 4th place finishes, a 3rd place finish, 6th, 5th. He's been all over the top 10 in his career. He's never won it. He's probably going to win it this year. And if and when he does, I'm going to be very, very happy for him. I'm not going to be like, damn, wish it was here. Of course, I wish it was here. But that's not going to be my first thought. My first thought is going to be how happy I am for Chris Sale that he climbed the top of the mountain in his age 35 season.
He only has 2 starts this year where he has given up more than 3 earned runs, a 5 spot and an 8 spot. Outside of that, every other start, 23 of the 25 starts, he has yielded 3 earned runs or less. Every single outing, dominant. I'll say this, for Chris Sale to establish what he did in terms of who he was, the type of competitor he was in Boston, it was never allowed to fully, maybe flourish to the extent that he wanted it to. Is that fair to say?
In the extension part of it. I mean, 2017 for sure, he was a beast. 308 strikeouts in 214 and third innings.
We're talking complete, yes. So in the extension phase of his time his time with the Red Sox, he was never able to be the leader that he wanted to be the leader that he can be. He was never able to create the culture the way or continue the culture that he wanted to. And I think there's a level of expectation that starts to come along with everything you're doing in that organization. And there's an added sense of individual pressure that you apply to yourself because you're trying to get back to this point so quickly. And instead, what Atlanta has provided him is a landing spot where the expectation is still there, but in terms of being the lighthouse in the clubhouse, like, hey, all eyes are on you. You are the one who is setting the tone here. You are the one who is laying down the foundation for everybody here to do that. That's not it. He didn't come into the room with that responsibility. He was given the opportunity to get back to being that dude. And here he is.
I know we have talked about Chris Sale, and I know everybody is talking about him to some degree over the course of the season and what a cool season, dominant, Cy Young favorite, all that. I actually, in some ways, I don't think we're talking enough about how fucking remarkable it is that a guy who was a year in, year out contender for the Cy Young during his prime, not some, hey, I had one or two Cy Young caliber seasons, I kind of flirted in the picture. Every year, Chris Sale was in the Cy Young consideration, never won. And that at age 35, after being lost in the wilderness for like the better part of 3 or 3+ seasons, that he may very well secure his first Cy Young in his age 35 campaign. Like 0 Cy Youngs, 7 straight seasons, finishing
top
in the
5?
top 6. Sixth. Here it was, starting in 2012. 6th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 4th. Like, it's just, I guess I have to do the research or see if somebody else has already done it. But I would be curious if there's ever been an example of a person with this level of Cy Young equity in his career who never won it, who is going to win it this far removed from. She'll never won.
Yeah, Schilling never got one. Yeah,
She'll never won.
That would be that would be the type of thing we're talking about. She'll certainly quote unquote deserved a Cy Young at his peak if he wasn't pitching alongside Unit. But like, yeah, man, it's just it is absolutely remarkable. And yeah, I think winning a World Series with him, I think everything's gravy after that. And I think this is a good example, given your take. Your representative feelings from Red Sox Nation, but it's a I think if you're counting down the top individual stories of the 2024 season, I think this has to be on the absolute shortest of lists after we talk about basically the Judge and Ohtani stuff that we discussed yesterday.
I can't imagine that there's someone who finished top 10 in 7 straight years without getting one.
Yeah,
it's chilling. Like,
but even his run, he never had 7 straight years. I'm not even sure Schill had 5 straight years where he garnered Cy Young votes. Yeah, Schill had 3 runners up and 1 4th place finish. So I guess in that sense, you could argue like, oh, even more heartbreaking because he had 3 runners up. But those were the only
like 8 years.
Yeah, those were the only 4 times he registered even votes. And maybe we could go back and nitpick, like he didn't register a single Cy Young vote in a year where he led the league in innings pitched, led the NL in strikeouts, and had a 3.25 ERA for the 98 Phillies. So maybe he should have, but he didn't. It's just I would have to think, because like if you're dancing around the Cy Young conversation like that for 7 straight seasons, I would just have to imagine you break through eventually and you win. I think they have something called like Cy Young vote. Like, let me see if I can find it. We don't need to like stop the podcast down, but like.
No, but everything like everything that I'm looking at with all these guys, all these names that you would even think they win the Cy Young early.
Yeah.
And then maybe taper off a bit. And then there's a surge where there's a 3 or 4 year run where they're top 5 in the Cy Young voting, but they've already got it under their belt to have that sustained level of peak and then, as you said, Jayhay, sort of just going to the witness protection program and then come back out and you're like, hey, it's me again, the super dominant dude.
I also think it's going to be very interesting what this does for his eventual Hall of Fame case. And we don't need to do the Chris Sale Hall of Fame thing right now, but I think what was a case that was more or less on life support entering this season has now obviously been reinvigorated with an entirely new level of context if he adds a Cy Young to what was already like a Hall of Fame caliber peak that just didn't really have the hardware. So I think particularly in this era, what we've talked about before with like, what is the future of starting pitching, particularly as it relates to people getting into the Hall of Fame? Like, I think Chris Sale, particularly if he can tack on, like if this is the beginning of a new descent, where he can provide quality for a couple of years, I think this is a very compelling Hall of Fame case in the end when we get to it.
Well, is CC Sabathia a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
So then Chris Sale needs, that's why I said a season, maybe two of this kind of production. And I'm not saying Cy Young winner, but the only thing separating Chris Sale and CC Sabathia in terms of career accolades and things like that are the Cy Young. CC was 100%. ALCS MVP. Outside of that,
ALCS MVP.
The World Series
in 09
for CC.
Yeah, he was ALCS MVP.
I think so.
He was.
Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, because the year in 07, he won the Cy Young Award. He was also in the ALCS, but
so it's interesting that you bring up the CC and Schilling comparisons because Baseball Reference does have something called the Cy Young Award shares, like so that it's not just whether you win or not, it's like how much total voting equity did you get over the course of your career, so it can compare guys who maybe didn't win one or who won one but didn't get votes any other season or something like that.
Sale more equity.
And Sale and Schilling are Sale, Schilling, and Sabathia are consecutively listed on the list. And you know who's number one on that group? Chris Sale. Chris Sale is 27th all time, Schilling's 28th, and Sabathia is 29th. So you literally couldn't have pulled more apt comparisons for what we got going on with Chris Sale's voting history as it relates. But just quick perspective. Those guys are ahead of Warren Spahn, Fergie Jenkins, Nolan Ryan, a lot of really good Dennis Eckersley, Dave Stewart, John Smoltz, a lot of great pitchers historically these guys are ahead of. So should be a fun conversation in the future too. You guys got anything left on Sale?
Nah, just happy for him and thankful that he beat the Twins, so the Red Sox season's still alive.
Yeah, because
I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, about how the Red Sox are still alive, but
you got that whole other podcast though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know if Dallas had thoughts on it.
No, I had thoughts on whether or not the actual Red Sox fan base is more than okay with a guy that they had now winning the Cy Young.
No, I would say I'm definitely in the minority there for sure.
I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, I think there's definitely I don't want to say overwhelming majority, but there's definitely more than 50% of the fan base that probably feels like, what the fuck? Like, why do we trade Vaughn Grissom for Chris Sale? He's going to go win a Cy Young. But I think that those folks are not factoring in the butterfly effect. Like, does Chris Sale have the same exact season that he has in Atlanta if he stays in Boston? I think the answer to that question is no.
Well, when those Red Sox fans are contemplating that butterfly effect question, I would encourage them to make sure to sign up with the code Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. And Jared, I got a question for you. I'm going to turn the tables on you a little bit.
Please.
Here. Yeah. You're going somewhere special.
I am.
Coming up soon, aren't you? I know you've got a lot of very special Red Sox specific, but you're also going to the Heartland. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing there and what you're excited about?
Yeah, this is Project Dr. Wiener. So we haven't really told anyone about this yet. But on September 21st, I'll be going to Kansas City with Coley to run in the hot dog race. I will be a hot dog. But
Wow.
they told us, they were like, so the deal is, I think the minimum or the maximum height you can be is 6'2", and the maximum weight you can be is 220 to be a
Coley's
hot dog.
Coley's out.
And Coley's out.
Coley
So
too big to be a wiener.
So I believe Underdog is customizing it. Either it's another hot dog or a bottle of ketchup. So Coley will be running alongside me as either a bottle of ketchup or as another hot dog. And this is on September 21st in Kansas City, which we're very excited about. Project Dr. Wiener.
I've always thought of Coley as, kind of like a rock solid condiment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone
I don't
you
know
can
if he's
lean
like a
on.
glass. Do you think he's a glass bottle or do you think he's the plastic bottle? Plastic bottles are wider, but like I feel like the glass bottle gives off the presence of I'm taller.
Yeah. Taller, more. It's a stable force.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Coley has glass bottle written all over him.
Yeah.
He's got that old soul vibe to him.
Mm-hmm.
You want that retro. Yeah, I think he's glass bottle all the way.
I agree with you guys. But yeah, that's on September 21st. Shout out to Underdog for making it happen. And of course we're going to have video of this. This is one of the ballparks that I'm going to get to cross off. I've never been to the K before.
Scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you about putting this on and then running?
Not excited at all. If we're being honest, like it's going to be really hot in there.
September, you'll be fine. It would be an absolute bitch if it were like June.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that it's end of September, it's going to be a little better. It's going to be a little more tolerable. But right now, Jared, you would pass the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not super pumped about it. No, I'm excited to do it. I'm not excited to be sweaty.
Do they tell you how much you know what? I'm thinking the big heads in Oakland, those things weigh fucking 55 pounds. Like you got to put that thing on and you better be able to carry a little bit of weight and move around.
Yeah.
So are these things weighted? Like
I'm going to find out when I get there, brother.
They all look like fairly soft suits.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Well, speaking of Kansas City, Underdog's doing a free pick. Travis Kelce, 0.5 total yards.
I like the odds there.
It's a site-wide free pick live at noon today for both new and existing users. It expires at kickoff on September 5th. So that is Travis Kelce, 0.5 total yards. Free pick, new and existing users. I feel pretty confident in that one.
Yeah, that's real good. I just I took a look at his game log from last season, and in the 15 games that he played during the regular season, his lowest yardage total was 14. So even his worst performance would clear 0.5 by quite a bit. So it does seem like a really, really rock solid opportunity here. And, to take advantage of it, I would just encourage everybody to use the promo code Jared when they sign up at Underdog Fantasy. That's JARED.
Yeah, correct. Yep, that's the right spelling. Went to Starbucks the other day. Guy's name was Jared. We both had a moment about, there's so many different ways to spell Jared, but ours was the correct way. That's J.
I think that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody
Yordan
else on
went
this
off last night.
podcast. Oh, I was just going to say everybody else on this podcast kind of has a one take spelling, right, for their name. Not really multiple ways to spell Dallas or Justin or Jake, I don't think, right?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
I guess Joe, he could be J-O.
No one's spelling it like that.
Connor Joe?
No, that's not. No. Mm-mm.
Anyway, Yordan
Alvarez, 3 bombs last night. Trace bombs. Is this something where Is Yordan Alvarez the best hitter in the American League not named Aaron Judge?
Total package wise,
Yeah.
power, bat to ball. He's in that conversation if he's not the top dog. I'm just
Bobby Witt.
I'm gonna take Juan Soto personally.
Juan Soto.
But I think for pure hitting, after those two, I think it's Yordan because
Juan Soto's just visiting, as we know.
Okay, that's fair. Although I will say, like, my initial inclination was to say it's Yordan because, like, yes, of course, Bobby Witt's a better overall player, but like, you know, Yordan's bat, and if you transported that to, and then I just double checked, and actually Bobby Witt is better or equal in every single mark of the triple slash. So I'm gonna retract what I said and put Bobby Witt ahead of him too, because presumably Bobby Witt is on the ascension to some degree. But I think Yordan is I mean, he's remarkably consistent, which is, I think, what the appeal is about him. You know, Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s quote unquote bounce back season, you know, his ascension back to elite level hitter is just another Yordan Alvarez season. So, you know, I think what's interesting is that we're at a point where you wonder, like, how many hitters have we seen that performed at this level per game through this point in their careers as Yordan is at? Like, he's at a 975 OPS and a 166 OPS plus through his first 6 seasons. It's just like, he's a generational hitter in a lot of ways. It just kind of gets overshadowed, I think, sometimes because he hasn't really been the best hitter in his league at any point. And he doesn't miss a ton of games, but tends to, I mean, he's never hit 600 plate appearances in his career. Maybe he does this year. But he's never had like a full complement season.
You know
so
what else it is?
What?
The smart baseball fans have just, they're full package fans. It's all wins above replacement. Like, Yordan is not going to show up in the WAR rankings because he's an offensive player. And like, I think we haven't exactly gotten away from completely just appreciating the guys that go up there and mash, but in order to catch the eye and be a media darling and the face of the league and the MVP, you have to be able to do it all. You have to be able to run the bases and play defense. And that's why those guys get all the love.
Yeah, but I think these are different conversations. We can have these different conversations, right? Like, you can have the conversation about who's a great pitcher, and then we can have a conversation about who's a great power pitcher. And I think those are two different categories. So when we start to talk about who's one of the best pure hitters, we have to leave out any other sort of impactful conversation. And let's talk about simple bat to ball skill. What does the power look like? What does the efficiency with putting the ball in play look like? That is the stuff that I think you have to have the conversation around. Jayhay, to your point, what'd you say the first 6 seasons for Yordan? He's at a 166.
Can I provide because I looked it up after that. Can I provide the context and then you go?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the wild card era, among all players to get at least 2,500 plate appearances, which is on the not a super high threshold, but lets Yordan clear it. He has the 3rd highest career adjusted OPS through age 27, and the only players ahead of him are Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. And Albert Pujols, let me tell you, is fractionally ahead of Yordan Alvarez. He's ahead of Juan Soto. He's ahead of Manny Ramirez. He's ahead of anybody else, Vlad Sr., Giancarlo. The only thing that some of these people have over Yordan is 1,000 more plate appearances or 2,000 more plate appearances through age 27 than Yordan does. Like, Stanton has 15, 1,600 more plate appearances, for example, than Yordan did. So, like, that is part of the overshadowing, is that we're getting into the square part of his prime, and he only has 2,500 plate appearances, which does on some level matter.
I'm glad that you said that, because Bobby Witt Jr. comes in at about 1,700 plus plate appearances, and right now is sitting at a 177 WRC plus, right? Or excuse me. I'm dying.
Are you okay, dude?
Jeez.
You want us to call an ambulance, dude?
Oh boy.
Oh, holy shit.
No, that's tough.
Oh my God, dude.
Did you just swallow your spit?
Yeah. Just fucking. My God.
My little baby does that all the time.
Yeah.
2 months old. Yep.
I'm back. Yeah, but
it makes my wife very nervous.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. She'll grow out of it. You can tell. Oh, yeah. The 177, the 1700 at bats. It feels like Bobby Witt Jr. is not only on that path, but maybe a step or two ahead. And if he can continue that, because it's not like there's a huge disparity in the power between he and Yordan Alvarez. Like there might be like 5 to 7 homers more per year on average, but Bobby Witt Jr., he is right there.
No, the only difference is that like you're citing Bobby Witt Jr.'s adjusted OPS for this season, and Yordan's is slightly lower for his entire career. So like the track record for Yordan, that's what I like. I'm with you on Bobby Witt. I'm not even arguing against you. I'm just saying like Yordan's track record is basically from the moment he got into the big leagues, he's been one of the most, fearsome hitters in baseball. So I also think like the postseason is a good opportunity for him because I do think people get into the postseason. At least I know real fans do. And it feels like he's one of those guys that nobody wants to face or see in the postseason. And that's probably, he's got a 949 career OPS in the postseason. So his dominance during the regular season translates to the postseason in so much as we can make those proclamations from 244 plate appearances. But I always like seeing him in those settings because just feels like he's one of those guys who rises to the moment.
Yes, there's fear. He is absolutely a dangerous man.
Like his walk-up music in the postseason should be the Jaws theme, basically.
Just one time.
Mm.
And that's it. Like, oh, fuck, really?
Yeah. Anyways, Dylan Cruz, first big league homer last night.
Anybody call it a cruise missile?
I'm sure someone said it. He's got, I hate to give credit to Hubs, but he was like, this dude just kind of exudes superstar energy. It's hard to argue. Let's see.
And a ball launched high in the air out to left. Go Verdugo going back. There's number 1. See you later. Dylan with the launch angle. You talk about John Carroll with this the hang time on his. What a blast. Matches his first career double with 105.4. That's how you lead off a game. Looks to me like Grandma's fighting back some tears right there. Dylan Cruz, a mighty blast. That's what she came from the Memphis area to see. And here's James Wood blowing away. What a moment.
Grandma had the Cruz jersey on in the stands. That's what it's all about right there.
I know you said yesterday that like Skeens was the pick all along, and I'm certainly not trying to relitigate who went first in that draft, but I vividly remember in the lead up to that draft, at least the idea was discussed that a team
could go
might
either way.
Take Dylan Cruz number 1, right? Maybe that's to save a little, whatever. But like the idea that he could go number 1 was a viable concept. And I don't know, man, like I was watching a little bit of that game last night and Cruz's homer and then seeing James Wood steal three bases, with his obviously physical presence. And it's just like, it just brought me back to the conversation that we had, whatever it was yesterday or the day or Monday, where it was, we're seeing the next generation and it's cool when whatever, it's very early, but it's cool when those skills or that excitement is able to play immediately. And it's not we have to endure, a Jackson Holiday type slump from Dylan Cruz before we get to the exciting stuff. It was just, pretty neat to see. Although I'm on Baseball Reference because I wanted to pull up Cruz's page as we were talking about him.
Yeah.
And they are listing his nicknames as DC or Cruzy, which
Cruzy.
we just
Cruzy.
what
I like
we
that.
have
Cruzy.
to be better than
Yeah,
that.
that's nice.
If
Cruzy,
he
that rolls
exudes
off the tongue.
superstardom,
Cruzy.
we must do better
Cruzy.
than Cruzy
Why?
Cruzy.
because it's everything that's wrong with baseball nicknames. It's literally everything that I talk about all the time. It's his last name with a Y at the end.
But that's Cruzy over there.
Yeah, it's Cruzy. I
No.
think it's easy. It's
What about
nice and
Cruz
easy.
Missile?
It's-
Didn't you say
it's
that?
Cruzy?
Yeah, but I feel like everyone that's
Yeah.
a Cruz is a Cruise Missile.
Yeah, that's washed, Jayhay.
Yeah.
That's-
It's overused. I've never
Yeah.
heard
How
Cruzy before.
yeah.
How is
Bad
Cruzy not overused?
I've never. Do you? When
You
I
ever
say
heard it?
Cruzy, who do you think of? No one.
I
There's
think
no other
Nelson
Cruzy to me.
Cruz.
You
Nah,
didn't
he
even-
was
I
Cruz
think
Missile.
Nelly. That's
Yeah.
Nelly.
No, I
That's
think
boomstick, baby.
I think
That's
Nelly Cruz.
boomstick.
I think
Yeah.
Nelly Cruzy.
I don't know that you've ever thought Nelly Cruzy.
I don't think you have. No.
Boom sticky.
Boom sticky. Were you surprised that they called him up though? It wasn't like he was mashing down there in AAA.
Yes, I was a little bit surprised. But sometimes, organizations have a feel for maybe a guy's, languishing at a level where maybe that
He's just
jolt
bored
of,
down there.
yeah. You never want to make that assumption about a guy, but, so far it looks like they had their pulse on the situation correctly. And, it'll be a fun little barroom debate about which Nationals guy you would choose to build around moving forward. But a lot of excitement there for sure.
Yeah. Between AA and AAA this year, he was under an 800 OPS. Like high 700s, but still under an 800 OPS. Got promoted twice. Now he's a big leaguer. Happy for him.
Sure.
Maybe it
I
is
am
one
too.
of those things where it's like, you just get him up here and see what the fuck is up, Because I'm trying to see what's up with Factor.
Mhm.
Because warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals and dietitian approved. They are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious meals. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep the kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready to go in just 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/BID50 and use the promo code BID50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's promo code BID50 at factormeals.com/BID50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Shout out to Factor for sending us the meals too, by the way. I've already been diving into those. It's a thumbs up for me. Obviously, I'm not going to be going with a lot of greens, but as far as the meats go, the filet mignon, yup. Mm-hmm.
But where does the meat go?
Oh. Let's see. What else do we got? What else is on the docket? Oh, Dallas. Miguel Andujar.
Yep.
What happened? What happened, pal?
Miggy popped. Miggy popped. Got a little bit of a core issue. Credit to him, though. You play through a ton of different shit all the time, and then you find yourself trying to play through something like this. And I always just laugh because as athletes, you have to be protected from yourself. It's just one of the sad truths about being an athlete, just because of what you demand of yourself and what's demanded of you. So knowing what sort of pain that this dude has been in for weeks and has just continued to try, like, think about your core needing to be surgically repaired, and you're still up there fucking swinging a baseball bat damn near 80 miles an hour, and you're bent over, you're running down fly balls and shit like that. I always just laugh because they will do whatever they can, athletes, to be ready, to be available. And unfortunately, just at a point where, like, dude, I can't move comfortably. I can't swing. I can't do all the shit that I'm supposed to do. So yes, we will miss him. Miggy was great to have around. I think he was just really, when you need a veteran piece, and he's not a guy who's got 15 years under his spikes, but he's a guy who has kind of been there and done that and has experienced some of the hoopla that comes with being a highly touted dude and now living his life the way he does in the game. He was a great presence for this young clubhouse. And so he will be missed.
R.I.P. Miguel Andujar. Hell of a run in Oakland. Is it that time?
Welcome back to Baseball is Dead Family Feud. I'm your man, Justin Havens. Wow. You guys saw the Discord called you guys out, right? Said good luck.
What'd they say? They said good luck?
Yeah, like kind of like Liam Neeson style. They were like, good luck.
Good luck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Dallas is going first today, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. I believe so.
All right. I have confidence in Dallas. Overall, I would like to see statistics on how we do. For a Section 10, we have so many people that keep track of suspensions and all this other, like Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP. We have people that keep track of show-related statistics. I would love if we had our win-loss record when I go first versus when Dallas goes first, and then the average number of points overall, and then depending on who goes first. Yeah, there's got to be some, you're baseball fans. There's got to be some sort of stat person out there that would be like, fuck yeah, I'd love to undertake this project. But we need Family Feud stats.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think somebody's going to step up. I can feel it. I think that's going to be a thing for sure. And before we get to Family Feud, I would just encourage people to sign up with the code Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. All right, Dallas, you're going first, huh, brother?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna remove these.
All right.
And you let me know when I can come.
Do the right thing and take those headphones off. All right, Dallas, you can hear everything's okay.
Yes, good to go.
Okay. I'm gonna warn you. I took the feedback on question length, and I said fuck y'all.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, fuck you. All right. Remember, this is out of 100 Baseball is Dead fans. Jake, are you ready?
Let's play some Feud.
All right, Dallas, are you ready?
Nope.
Take that as a yes. All right, here we go. Entering play on Wednesday. Which qualified MLB batter has the fastest average bat speed in 2024?
Giancarlo Stanton.
How many World Series championships will the entire AL East win from 2024 to 30? That's 7 seasons.
2.
If you were stuck on a deserted island, which active MLB player would you bring with you to help survive?
Andrew Chafin.
Which of these NL teams that is not making the postseason this year, Giants, Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, Pirates, or Nationals, is the next team to make the postseason?
The Nats.
Which accomplishment is the coolest? Judge's 2024 if he hits 63 homers, Ohtani's 2024 if he gets to 50-50, or Acuna Jr.'s 2023 40-70, or Jarren Duran's 10-20-30-40 season?
Jarren Duran.
Thank you, Dallas. I started
Christ.
I started the last question before time ran out, so that's we were more than in the clear for that one. For those,
there's an absolute goose egg on the desert island.
Let me go ahead and scan the list to see if Andrew Chafin made it. I didn't even bother looking in the moment.
He's nowhere near that list.
No, yeah, we're gonna go ahead. All right. So okay. Okay, that is an eminently manageable number. Yeah. All right. So a couple of things here.
Yeah, hey. I hope you put your extra special listening headphones on because there's a couple that get quite girthy. So just be ready, be prepared. They took aim, Jared. They took aim, and they have left.
As long as I start the last question in time, you're fine, though.
So start it now, and then he'll be able to.
So some people have gotten mad because they say we're not doing the order correctly on how Family Feuds actually played. So I'm going to tell you Dallas's score so that those people don't get mad. Dallas got a 93. Okay. So very manageable. You need 107 points to bring home yet another victory. Okay. Jake, do we have, or Jake or Jared, do we have, well, obviously Jared can't do it. Do we have the noise effect or am I doing that?
You're doing the noise.
Great. Okay. Jared, are you ready?
I suppose so.
Yeah, I just want to, as I told Dallas, I took the feedback on question length and I threw it directly in the garbage. Remember it's out of 100 baseball is dead fans. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Need 107 points. Here we go. Entering play on Wednesday, which qualified MLB batter has the fastest average bat speed in 2024?
Bobby Witt Jr.
How many World Series championships will the entire AL East win from 2024 to 30? That's 7 seasons.
2. 3.
If you were stuck on a deserted island, which active MLB player would you bring with you to help survive?
Oh, God. Ellie De La Cruz.
Which of these NL teams that is not making the postseason this year? Giants, Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, Pirates, or Nationals is the next to make the postseason?
The Reds.
Which accomplishment is the coolest? Judge's 2024 if he hits 63 or more homers, Ohtani's 2024 if he gets to 50-50, Acuna Jr.'s 2023 40-70, or Jarren Duran's 10-20-30-40?
Judge.
Thank you. Let me take a look here.
The island one is
tough.
Right.
What did
There's
you
no
say,
answer.
Dallas?
That's a fucking, what that is, Jared, is that is an unanswerable question because there is no context. There's no there's no,
right.
It's purely opinion.
I said Ellie because he'll be able to outrun like any.
You're on an island.
All right.
Yeah, but
Where are you going?
It's islands.
Here we go.
Okay. Islands are big enough.
There's
no one said it was a fucking like the size of this room.
Question number 1. Entering
What kind of
play
fucking
on
islands
Wednesday.
do you go on where you can't run on them? The fuck?
Which qualified MLB batter has the fastest average bat speed in 2024? I will give you guys credit for this. You did damn near as well as you could have on a very difficult question. Dallas got the number 1 overall answer. The number 2 overall answer was Giancarlo Stanton. That got 15. Jared came through with the number 3 overall answer, which was Bobby Witt Jr. for 14 points.
Hold on.
The number 1 answer was Aaron Judge. The actual correct answer, statistically, not that matters, was O'Neal Cruz. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
Entering play yesterday. Yes.
His average bat speed of 78.5 is greater than the 81 for Giancarlo?
I'm telling you that as of yesterday, it doesn't matter for the purposes of this, but I'm telling you that as of yesterday, O'Neal Cruz, maybe Giancarlo didn't qualify yesterday. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. I'm really honestly not sure. But either way, 15 and 14, the second and third best answers. So with that 14, you guys are up to 107 with 4 questions remaining. Question number 2. How many World Series championships will the entire AL East win from 2024 to 2030? Dallas came through with the number 1 answer, which was 2. You both tried that. That was worth 51 points.
Ooh.
Jared managed to recover and get the number 2 answer, which was 3. That was good for 29 points. So you go all the way up to 136 with 3 questions remaining. 1 received 17 points, 0 championships, got 3 votes.
I thought about saying 0 as my recovery answer.
So 136 is currently where we stand as we enter the hardest question maybe that we've had all season. If you were stuck on a deserted island, which active MLB player would you bring with you to help survive? Shout out to Brandon Havens for this one. This had, I'm not even going to count them, something like 40 responses.
Exactly.
So Dallas tossed out Andrew Chafin, which I'm going to go ahead and give everyone an opportunity to guess how many points that got. 0 points.
Still a great pick.
Maybe the correct answer for all I know, but not the one that the fans went with. Jared did manage to name someone who received a vote. So you got 1 point for Ellie De La Cruz.
See, fuck you, Brandon Havens. I'm coming for that ass. After the relationship we have formed, after what we shared on that fucking patio. Are you serious, you heartless prick?
Yeah, he got you bad there. There were about 20 different names that got 1 vote each. So Jared nailed one of those. The number 1 answer, according to the Discord, our boy Tristan Casas.
He would be useless in that situation.
Right. Tristan, let's go. I can't. I'm sunning my perineum right now. Get back to me in a minute.
Judge was the only other. Casas got 13. Judge got 11. Those are the only 2 people in double digits.
The voters took that as like, who do you want to die with? It's like, like he's pretty chill. Like he wouldn't panic in that situation.
Ohtani was 3rd for that matter. So I do think there's some who do you want to chill with going on here.
Yeah.
137 is your total with 2 questions remaining. So obviously not a lot of movement from that question. Question 4, which of these NL teams that is not making the postseason this year, Giants, Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, Pirates, or Nationals, is the next to make the postseason? Dallas said Nationals. That was the 4th most common answer with 12 points. Jared came through with the Reds. That was the 3rd most common answer for 19 points.
Pirates.
which gets us to 156. Pirates was the number 1 answer with 30. Cubs 21. As I said, Reds and Nationals 19 and 12, and then the Cardinals 11. That suggests 0 votes for the Giants. Tough break. So that is 156 with 1 question remaining. So Jared needs 44 points out of this last question. We'll see whether he got it or whether it was even available to him to get. Which accomplishment is the coolest? Judge's 2024, Ohtani's 2024, Acuna's 2023, or Jarren Duran's 2024? Dallas answered. I know what Dallas was up to here. He played to the crowd Jared Duran was the third most common answer with 15 points. Jared, with the opportunity to maybe bring it home, maybe not. He needed 44. He answered Aaron Judge. That was worth 17 points.
What?
Oh, no.
No.
Absolutely
not.
Oh, no.
I refuse to accept these results.
183 is the total. You come up 17 short. Unfortunately, here's where the heartbreak comes in. The win was there for the taking. Ohtani got 57 votes for question 5 for the most impressive season. So if that had been answered by either one of you, you guys would have brought it home yet again. So tougher questions for sure, but there were paths to winning. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till next week to get back on the winning train. So any thoughts here from you guys?
There was one, like we basically had to get to the threshold with one fewer question.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had one question that was just a throwaway question. Here, guys, we're actually only going to give you 4 viable questions to get the point total in. And you know what's happening right here is we're zigging and zagging, Jared. We're zigging and zagging. And we're trying to pin down the Discord. And you know what they're doing? I think they're baiting and switching us is what they're doing. They're baiting and switching us. I'm on to them now. I got you now. You have bobbed and weaved for the last time, Discord. Yeah.
I think I'm going to be very honest. I think it was an outstanding job, and I just want to call out a few people. Jake Yazzie, tremendous. Corey Brinson, fantastic work this week. Discord, obviously, carrying their part, providing some really, really top-notch answers. And then, of course, the Havens family, as George Havens would say, hard to be humble when your name is Havens. Rest in peace, George, as we like to say on the podcast. But yeah, big week all around for people on this side of the Family Feud table. Love
Bullshit.
It. Hell yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you guys needed an L. We needed to kind of reassert authority here, and I'm glad that we did.
I think it's crazy that Dallas didn't say Shohei. When Judge was available, I was like, what? Thought I was going to get the red
I told you.
Inside, Dallas, you wanted him to go. You said first he'll get him out of that mental block that happens when he goes second, but look what happened. He got inside his own head. He tried to play to the Discord.
I did. And that's the Nats answer was playing to the conversation we just had about the Nats.
Yep.
I felt like
that's who I would have picked, to be fair.
Yeah. People were going to pop. And that's yeah. You know what? No.
Yep. And then the Andrew Chafin answer, who knows what the inspiration for that was, but
that was crazy.
Yeah,
but I can't even get mad at him for that because
there's only one answer. You want to be with a redneck on a deserted island.
Plenty of rednecks. But
he was the first one that came to my mind.
Luke Little got a vote. Someone actually put in Jurgensen Profar.
That's the kind of shit we're dealing with.
Andrew Chafin did not, though. No votes.
Jurgensen. Jurgs. Yeah, we got boned on that one. That's what it takes, though. They got to bone us to get a win.
Tough question. Yeah, tough question threw you guys off, no doubt.
Imaginary answers.
Mm-hmm.
Just get your focus right so that even tough questions don't throw you off next week. But it's fine. You can't win every week. I mean, it's baseball.
We can.
Family Feud.
We can. We just need the appropriate amount of questions.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are going to have to score all your runs in 7 innings.
Somebody check the tape. Did they get 5 questions? 5 really good ones, actually, this week. Hell yeah. Shout out to me. I'm killing it this week. I got a family. I shut you guys down on Family Feud. I was right on Tilda. It's been really, really good. We've been killing the promos. Fuck yeah, man. Really good. Really good. I would say one of my best weeks.
As long as you're happy.
I rejoined. Yeah.
You know.
No, as long as I'm happy. Yeah, obviously. Straw that stirs the drink here. As long as I'm happy. That's what we're all about. Keeping the high profile talent happy.
That's right. Series coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to pick one and share what the factor is going to be. What will be the factor?
I know what I'm
for a
excited.
Series. Go ahead.
I know what I'm excited about. My series is I'm locked in and it's easy.
Astros Royals.
That's right, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Astros Royals, and I'm going to take the Astros. And I'm going to tell you why. I really love the way that their starting rotation is lining up this week, particularly as it relates to how Kansas City's is looking. The Astros have, I would argue, their 4 strongest starters. That could certainly be debated, but at least 3 of their 4 strongest starters going in this series. And while Kansas City's are actually their best starters as well, as we outlined on a previous podcast, Seth Lugo's ERA is north of 5 over the last basically 2 months. And Cole Reagan's, I know it's not a serious issue, but left his last start due to calf issues, which may linger, may not. But if I'm shorting one side of the pitching equation here, it's going to be the Kansas City side. So that is the factor for me, is the Houston Astros starting rotation against the Royals.
Okay.
Well, I'm taking a peek at the Arizona Diamondbacks, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah.
That's who I'm taking a peek at. And who is the factor? Well, none other than the fellow that we were just discussing. It's Corbin Carroll. With the power resurging, Corbin Carroll can aim to be the man in the middle of this lineup that can start to carry the Snakes over the threshold. It's got to happen now, in my opinion. You got to show the Dodgers that we are serious contenders for this division, and Corbin Carroll has to continue to tap in to the power that he is experiencing right now. He feels better. The bat's showing it. Corbin Carroll and the Snakes against the Doyers. Corbin Carroll is the factor.
Jared, can I give a double factor?
Yeah, please.
Because I'm just like so passionate about this whole topic. I want a double factor. Yordan Alvarez, you want to guess what his career against Seth Lugo and Cole Reagan's combined? He's 9 for 16 with 8 RBI. There's a factor for you.
Yeah, well, he's a monster against left-handers.
Oh. Since Dallas stole mine.
Jayhay stole mine. Prick.
Series that I'm looking at this weekend. Twins, Blue Jays. The Minnesota Twins clinging to that final wild card spot in the American League. Just got swept by the Atlanta Braves last night. They will have Thursday to collect themselves, and then they will take on the Toronto Blue Jays at home. Gausman, Lopez, Barrios, Matthews, Rodriguez, Ober are the pitching matchups. But in the second half of the season, I know it don't seem like it. In the second half of the season, Vladdy Jr. Look at these numbers. 37 games. He's hitting .413, a .494 on base. It's a 1320 OPS for Vladdy Jr. in the second half. As far as the Twins offense goes, we're talking qualified hitters here. They haven't been doing dick. Carlos Santana has been their guy. 38-year-old Carlos Santana in the second half of the season for the Minnesota Twins offense has a 744 OPS. And that's leading the club in the second half. 744 OPS.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
No. Max Kepler, 683 OPS. So the question becomes, can Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays outslug the Minnesota Twins, who haven't been able to hit for dick in the second half of the season? Because if they don't, the Red Sox They're coming for that ass, Jake. And you know that. Could be back in a playoff spot by the end of the weekend. Some people are saying. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm not saying it's a Bob guarantee.
Oh.
I'm just saying it's a possibility that if Vladdy brings the boomstick and hits a couple cruise missiles, Red Sox could be back in a playoff spot by the next time we do a podcast. That's all. That's my factor.
Love that optimism.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Party ain't dead yet. Justin Havens, do you have any nugs for the people?
I do. I have like a pretty hefty batch. No shortage of quality today. And speaking of quality, I just want to make sure before I get to my nuggets that you sign up with the promo code Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. Here we go. Some Wednesday nuggets based off of Wednesday action. First, Corbin Burns' issues continued. 28 runs allowed. I know a lot of them were quote unquote unearned. I think we're all on the same page that if Corbin Burns allows 6 runs in a start, regardless of how many are unearned, that's a bad deal. 28 runs allowed in 25 and 2/3 innings pitched in August. The Orioles in that game, it was their first time since September of 2007, so 17 years, that they allowed multiple homers, committed 3 or more errors, and allowed at least 4 stolen bases from the defensive side. Tough scene. Chris Sale, first Braves left-handed pitcher, we talked about him, since Tom Glavine in 1998 to reach 15 or more wins through the first 25 starts of a season. Shohei Ohtani had another Dallas Braden special, we'll call it, the home run and the stolen base in the same game. He became the 10th player in Major League Baseball history to have 10 games or more, obviously, with both a homer and a stolen base in a single season. The single season record holder for that totally made up achievement is Ricky Henderson with 13 such games. So that's actually, I think we're all in agreement, within striking distance for Shohei.
This year.
Yeah. Well, it's a single season thing. So that's
single season.
Yeah. He's had 10 of them this year. So if he's going to get to 50-50, you would have to think that there's a very real chance he ties or passes Ricky Henderson's quote unquote record. Spencer Torkelson, who's obviously been a huge flop, has shown more than some signs of life since his recall. 3 homers over his last 11 games. He had 4 homers through his first 54 games before the demotion. Brian Bayo, youngest Red Sox pitcher with a start of 8+ scoreless with at least 9 strikeouts since John Lester in 2008. Yordan Alvarez, also talked about him. Obviously, he's the second player in Astros franchise history to have a 3-homer game against the Phillies. Remember, for you youngins, the Astros used to be in the NL. He joins Carlos Lee from April 13th, 2007. Good throwback mention there. Yep. James Wood is the 3rd youngest player in Expos Nationals history with a 3 stolen base game, behind only, you guessed it, Juan Soto and Tim Raines. Christian Betancourt, this is the weirdest and maybe my favorite nug of the night. Christian Betancourt became the 3rd Cubs catcher in franchise history with 7+ RBI and 3+ runs scored in a game, along with Giovanni Soto in 2008 and someone named George Mitterwald from 1974. Coincidentally, all 3 of these performances came in games against the Pirates. So lower it. And then 3 rapid fire pitching nugs. Thursday, Michael King is going, aka today. 2.33 ERA over his last 15 starts. Bowden Francis, I don't know if you've been paying attention to what this guy's been doing, but over his last 3 starts, 22 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 27 strikeouts. That's a 0.82 ERA for the Blue Jays. And then Blake Snell back on the mound on Friday. He has a 1.30 ERA over his last 9 starts, spanning 55 and a 1/3 inning. So I know his last outing was shortened, but his dominant stretch is still very much intact for those keeping score at home. And those are my Nuggs.
There you go.
How cool is it if you're Shohei to just be like, so if I just like steal a bag for every homer I hit, it's going to be like 40-40 every year. He's like, I'll just do that. So I'll just start the game. If I get on base early, I'll steal the bag and I know the homer's coming. Or if I hit the homer early, I know I just got a walker and get on first. I'll steal a couple bags.
It's funny to pretend like him doing one of them is like a mental reminder to just do the other one.
Mm.
Yep. Yes, that's what it's exactly.
He's like, oh, I homered. And he's like, all right. Okay, cool. Got to steal that base next time I'm up or whatever. Like,
yeah, let's make sure to either walk or just hit the single because I don't know if stealing third is, first out, third out. So I'll just.
Yeah, it's like when I remember to pay a bill. It's like he's like, oh yeah, shit, got to do that.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yep. Just a little housekeeping left before this game's over.
Well, that's very interesting. You know what else is very interesting? Something I saw, Jaron Duran's, I believe it's his B WAR, is higher this year than Acuna's was last year when he did 40-70.
What do you attribute that to?
Mm.
What is Baseball Reference weighting more?
Maybe defense? But like Ronnie's a good defender too.
Yeah, well, it's not to say that Jaron Duran's not just playing a better defensive center field right now.
Could be.
My final thought is how many fucking people were in LA waiting for a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead? Did you guys see that? You guys see the pictures of that?
That line was preposterous. Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Dude, I have this is the Ohtani effect. And I wasn't going to tweet this because it was just like kind of random. But I mean, you guys know my grandma had some health issues a while ago at the very beginning of the season. And the nurse who was working with her, like they knew who I was. And I walked in and she Japanese. And she was like, so your grandma told me that you know Shohei Ohtani? And I was like, I have a picture with him. He's not my friend. And she was like, you've met him. You have a picture with Shohei. And I showed her the picture and she started fucking crying. Like she started crying. Like you're taking care of my grandma. I need you to get it together, lady. And
I need you to lock it in.
I was just like, I had never experienced anything like that before. Like secondhand fandom to that extent. That was mind-boggling to me. But I had buddies call me. They're like, bro, we just drove by the ballpark. Absolutely fucking not. They're all the way to that line's all the way to fucking Echo Park. Like, dude, it's an effect that you just had. Like, no one's doing that for Mike Trout's bobblehead.
No
one was doing that for Mike Trout's bobblehead. They were lining up early, but they weren't lining up into the fucking valley for the bobblehead. Like, this is just, the dude is special.
Love how many drive-by shots Mike Trout takes on this podcast. Just was minding his own business, and it's like, who people didn't fucking line up for? Mike Trout, just loser.
Sorry, Trouty. I didn't mean it that way.
Well, all right. Jake's takes.
I'm just pumped that it looks like my Chris Sale higher 0.5 total Cy Young awards this year is going to hit.
Yeah.
That's easy money. So if you're trying to make bets like that, definitely check out Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
Yes, please. Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. All right. We will be back on Monday with more Baseball is Dead. We appreciate you guys for hanging with us this week. It's almost September, which means it's almost crunch time. This is where it matters. This is where things start to tense up. The competition gets a little bit more meaningful.
That's right.
We'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, as we always are during the regular season, to break it all down with you guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you prefer looking at Dallas's face for some reason, make sure you subscribe on Spotify and iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out the merch, baseballisdeadmerch.com. Got a whole new batch of shirts that are on the store. That's where you can support us. We very much appreciate all the support that we do get from you guys. A shout out to the Discord for the participation with Family Feud this week. Congratulations on the win, even though you guys fucking cheated. And we will see you back here on Monday. Enjoy your weekend of baseball. Should be a good one with some of these matchups that we highlighted. And we'll see you on Monday.
We go.